You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Homefield Apparel.
All right, folks, welcome back to CrimsonCASH, another episode of CrimsonCASH here with you. Scott here with you, excited to have a little post-holiday podcast with you all. Hope you had a great and awesome Thanksgiving. I made it back from New York. Want to give a shout out to, that was kind of a non sequitur. Yes, I'm back from New York. Had a good Thanksgiving. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Homefield Apparel. They are sponsors of the entire home network. Some people in New York were joking, like that's a good drinking game, is like if I mess up home field and home network, but didn't do it this time. So no drinks, no shots for you out there. But Homefield Apparel, check them out. Some absolutely fantastic stuff. I got an order of Homefield yesterday. I got the Boston University sweatshirt. I've been wearing it all day. Just took it off now. It's getting a little toasty in the house, but it looks awesome. Their stuff's fantastic. Right now, you can get 20% off everything on their site just by going to their website. It's all you got to do. It's their Black Friday sale. We're recording this on Black Friday. But if you miss that and then you want to do your first order, use the promo code HOME23 to get 15% off your first purchase. But I would say go there now, get 20% off, and go shopping. All right, bring in James for the last regular season Crimson Cash of the season. We both just watched Iowa beat Nebraska in a wild game. Wild in that there was very few points scored, but it was somehow back and forth. James, man, how you doing?
I wish we would have recorded before this game because I won both my bets on it, including a single game parlay of 3 legs. So I was all over Iowa to win this game. They did. Super happy. I love Iowa football. I'm a big fan now.
They never had you worried at all, right?
Never at all. Like, I was not worried at all.
Not when they're throwing interceptions in the middle of the field with 10 seconds to go. Or,
oh my God, what a horrible throw.
But Nebraska's like, hold my beer, got him right back, and that was it. That was a rough game.
I was saying, okay, so question for you.
Okay.
Matt Rule, the head coach of Nebraska, right?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Vincent D'Onofrio?
Oh yeah, the actor. Yeah, from Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket,
yeah.
Law and Order, Criminal Intent. He would be the perfect person to play Matt Rule in a biopic.
That's a great call.
I mean, he looks just fucking like him.
Yeah, that's a really good call. I don't think there'll be a Matt Rule biopic anytime soon, but yes, if there was one, yes.
Don't worry, Trev Alberts will produce one. If they finally make it to a bowl game, Trev Alberts will produce one.
That's definitely on a plus service. That's not going to be on. That's going to be on some sort of network plus service. That is definitely not going direct to the main streamers.
Husker Plus.
Yeah, Husker Plus. All right, let's get to the lines this weekend. So we don't have the sorry folks, the Iowa Nebraska line, but you could have bet the over under. It was 25, and they kept it under. So we'll see what I think the days of fun over unders are over because Iowa's next game will be the Big Ten championship, and we'll get to that in a second who they're going to play. But I don't think the over under is going to be in the 20s again or the 25s. But let's get to the games this weekend. We got Penn State at Michigan State. Penn State ranked 11th in the country, coming in as a 22.5-point favorite.
Yeah, this line has moved. It was 21. Folks, I have a little cheat sheet that I use, and I go through all the lines, and I examine each game, and I make my picks on it, and I circle what I'm going to do in preparation for the podcast. I'm not flying by the seat of my pants here. And so sometimes Scott will hit me with a line, especially when I wrote it down like 3 days ago, that has moved. I originally liked Penn State here. 22.5. I still kind of like them, but the over under was at 42.5. I don't know where it's at.
43.5.
I like the under here. I think that's probably the play.
Okay. I do. In the Action Network, it shows you where the line opened with, and this game must have opened beginning of the season because it was Penn State minus 13. So it's actually moved from 13 to 22. That could not have been this week. So that must have been a couple weeks ago.
Definitely, yeah.
The big game. I'm debating if I go to IU Purdue or no. The big game, yeah, Ohio State at Michigan. Michigan is a 3.5-point favorite at home against Ohio State.
With a total of 46 is what I have. What do you have?
46.5.
Okay, you have 46.5. Everybody is all over the under here. I think the public is wrong. This thing's not going to go under. These teams combine for a ton of points every single year. This particular over would have hit, I think, 4 of the last 5 meetings between them. The over generally hits when they play. I like the over here. I know everybody's saying defensive struggle. Both the defenses are better, but they both have singularly talented offensive players in Blake Corum and Marvin Harrison Jr. that can get theirs regardless of what the defense is doing. And so I like the over here. I also think Michigan probably covers, but I'd rather just root for points. Anybody who just rooted for Iowa, Nebraska to go under 24.5 understands how horrible it is to root against scoring. So let's root for some scoring here. I think this is going to be the better game to watch than the IU Purdue game. Quite honestly, I will be flipping back and forth quite a bit, is my guess, because I think this is going to be a good frippin' football game. Do you like how I didn't curse there?
I know. I'm proud of you. It's well done.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good flipping game. Go ahead.
Do you like the over?
I do, for a different reason. I think that there's a chance that Ohio State isn't, I don't want to say isn't good, but isn't like top level good. And if that ends up being the case, which I kind of think it is, I see a world where Michigan just could lay it on. Like, I'm not talking like a blowout, but like if they have a chance to put another touchdown in, they will. So I would not want to be sitting at like, 44 points and it's like Michigan's like they're just going to punch it in and go for the touchdown even if they're up by like 10 or something. And I think there's a very good possibility that Michigan could win this, by 14 to 20 points.
I think that's they're the better team.
Yeah. Speaking of rooting for the under, I get the first game in New York on Sunday. You'd be proud. Buddy of mine from Queens came in. We watched the game. I went to the IU game, had a good time. Then we're like, let's stick around and watch like some of this Texas Louisville game, but we got to bet on it. So we did Louisville first to score because they had better odds and it hit. Because first to score is just an odds play in my mind. Like who knows?
That's a coin toss.
Yeah. But it's like I'll take the better odds on a coin toss if you're going to give me better than plus odds on that. Taking it.
Sure.
But then we bet like we were watching like the IU game. Like they came out, both IU and Connecticut kind of struggled, and they seemed like a little bit taken aback by Madison Square Garden. Just a real sloppy start to the game. We're watching the shoot around for Louisville and Texas. It's like they're not shooting the ball at all. So I'm like, we'll take the under. It's like it was 69.5 for the first half. I'm like, we'll take the under. And then it's just like we were looking great. Like 10 minutes in, it's like they only have a combined like 21 points. So I'm like, oh, we're good. Like we keep this average up. And then it's just like they start scoring, and then you're like you said, it's no fun. I even said before we bet, like I think this is the right bet, but it's no fun rooting for unders because you're like, that's a travel. Like what are you doing? Anyway, we lost.
It is. It's only fun rooting for unders when you're betting on Iowa because they will do shit like they were like 15 yards away from a field goal to end the first half with 20 seconds and 2 timeouts. And what did they do? They took a fucking knee to go into the half. Like that is rooting for the under, like just gold right there. Most coaches would never do that. Yeah. So, you have to be careful when you're rooting for points not to be scored.
Speaking of coaches who would do that, the Tom Allen led Indiana Hoosiers going into West Lafayette, the bucket game. Both teams are 3-8. You're playing for pride at this point, but Purdue is a 4.5 point favorite at home.
That has also gone up.
Yeah, it was 2.5 to open.
Yeah, and the over under I had was 51. So what do you have?
It's got 54 now.
Oh, shit, because I like the over, and I like Purdue. So everything I liked a few days ago seems to be where Vegas is moving it to. Over 54, I still think that might be a play. I think this looks more like the Illinois game than anything else. And Purdue put up 44 points on Illinois. So I think they beat them, 44-17?
Something like that, yeah.
So I say for another week in a row, I'm going to take the over on the IU game, and I'm going to root for points, but I'm probably going to tease that because I really don't like that 54.5. I like 51 a lot better. So if you got it earlier in the week, kudos to you. Purdue's definitely going to cover this spread. I hate to break it to you people, but they care way more about this than we ever possibly could.
Any
When
chance?
they were losing at home to Fresno State earlier this year in the first game of the year and still chanting IU sucks at their kickoffs. All right. They care way more than we do. I don't think Tom Allen's going to be able to get a bunch of transfer portal guys up for beating Purdue. Maybe it's Love's last stand. I don't know. But I think Purdue takes this.
Stand. That's solid. I like that.
Sounds like a great song, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's like that was sung by Hart in the or the Bengals in the 80s.
Oh my God, it is a Heart song.
Yeah, it really is.
Sounds like it at least.
Love's last stand.
Hear it right now.
Any chance you think? I mean, you kind of said no, but like, any chance Indiana wins this game?
There's always a chance.
That's fair enough.
I mean, it's a rivalry game. I mean, some guy like remember Peyton Ramsey single-handedly won the damn game.
Yeah.
Xander Diamont. Who knows what can happen in this game? It just takes one or two guys making some plays. These are both shitty football teams. I mean, there's no getting around it. This is going to be a crappy game to watch because they're not good.
Yeah, and
either of them.
No, yeah, outside the bucket, not a lot to play for. All right, let's keep moving. We have the Northwestern Wildcats because the rest of these games are all kind of garbage. We'll move from them quickly. The Northwestern at Illinois. You have Northwestern as a 5.5-point underdog on the road.
I think you can still get them at 6, which is where I had them, and I like them +6. I think a rivalry game, and they've been plucky all year, and Illinois is inconsistent. So give me the Cats plus almost a touchdown.
All right, Wisconsin, kind of a on and off team, 6-5 at Minnesota. Minnesota home dog. Minnesota 2.5-point underdog at home.
Yeah. Who knows what to do here, right? I mean, both these teams are kind of the same. And in that case, I'm going to take the home team and I'm going to take the points. In fact, I would take them on the money line. If you're going to, what's our rule, Scott? If you're going to take 2.5 points, just go ahead and take them on the money line.
Go. Yeah, that's the way to play.
That seems to be the CrimsonCASH logic. So we are going to stick with that.
Okay. Next up, you have Maryland at Rutgers, the last one of the year of the week. Maryland at Rutgers. Rutgers, again, home dog, 2-point underdog at home.
And the total on this game
is 44.5.
Was what?
I have 44.5.
That has stayed the exact same.
Okay.
And I love the under here. I think for a Rutgers over/under, if you look at them over the course of the year, this is significantly. This is significantly higher than most of them, and Rutgers' defense has been damn solid, and their offense has also been equally unsolid. So I like the under here.
Okay.
I know I'm playing a lot of totals this week.
You are.
I do think. I think Rutgers can win this game, though.
You going to pick them? Well, I mean, again, they have 2 points. Just go for the money line if you think you're going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. You ready for it? I know you.
I'm ready.
You can't always hear my sound effects, but we're going to go west. All right, we're stepping up the production.
I didn't hear it. What is it?
It's an airplane sound. Stepping up the production sounds.
Nice.
We're going west. We're going to the Pac-12. Let's look first at our friends Washington. Michael Penix led 11-0. They're keeping it running. I mean, they now are prime seat to make the college football playoff. Now they can't win. Now they can't lose. Like now they got to win out. They got to win the Pac-12 championship. But first off, they got to play Washington State. Washington State's last game as a Power 5 team, so enjoy that. Washington is a 16.5-point favorite at home.
This is another one that hasn't moved.
Nope.
This is the Apple Cup, right? Which is a fun little trophy. So we're going to take the Huskies to cover that.
Okay. And
we love the Huskies. We called it last week. They were going to stay undefeated, and they did.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll take the Huskies.
Colorado, still around, still playing. People kind of forgot about the whole Dion thing now, but Colorado's going to Utah to finish their season. They are a 21-point underdog going into Utah.
Yeah, I love this number, 21. Give me the Utes.
Yeah, to cover 21.
Yeah, and if you can get it 20.5, like freaking go for it. No Shadur Sanders, or however you pronounce his name.
Yep.
Right, for Colorado. So what the hell are they going to do? I
Dude,
mean,
this,
who are
this,
they
this
trotting
open is
out
a
there?
15-point game.
Their
This
their
line's moved 6 points. That's a lot.
their entire offense is predicated on Shadir Sanders passing the football, right?
Yes.
And he's not playing, correct?
I, that's a great.
Their entire defense is predicated upon letting the other team score. So I am going to take the Utes to cover here in a romp.
Okay, 21's just that's
we
a big. That's
may
a big
see
number.
some sort of like 38-10 situation here.
All right, 21's just a big number.
I know it's a big number. It was 22 earlier in the week.
Yeah,
I would have taken it at that. I have it circled plus 22 Utah right here. So,
okay. All right, that's the West side. What do you got for your parlay of the week?
okay, well, we had Iowa originally on it, so we're gonna scrap that plan. All right, so we're gonna pick
or you could try and still get them. See if a books hasn't paid attention yet. Most of them are pretty good at that. But
well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over on Ohio State, Michigan, and that'll put it at 40.
Okay.
So or 40.5, which I really like that over. I think that's just they could sleepwalk and get that many points between the two of them. We're gonna take Maryland and Rutgers, which will give us under 50 and a half in that game. And Rutgers, I think, has played one game all year that went over that total. And so we had Iowa plus 8.5, which, man, that would have been a nice bet. We're going to instead take Michigan plus 2.5.
Okay.
On the tees. And so that's a nice little 3-legger there, I think should get us by.
All right. Nice stuff, man. Let's do it again. You want to do let's do bowl week, like next week, championship week, and then try and come back for we'll pick a day to try and get as many bowls as we can.
Yeah, and championship week we'll do every conference. So I'll do MAC, I'll do wherever. If they're playing a title game, I will fucking bet it.
Okay.
Or I will at least tell you how you should think about betting it.
I like it. So we'll come back. Let's do it again on Thursday next week, and we'll do all of the conference games that are happening between Friday, Saturday, Sunday after that.
Fantastic.
All right, man. Well, James, as always, thank you so much. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Enjoy your do you do a Black Friday thing besides watching Iowa football? Is there anything you do?
I've had a few cocktails. This is Scott. I am 44 years old.
Okay.
I had to think about that.
Good job. You got that right. I'm taking the over.
Since I started working at the age of 16, okay, so the last 27 years, 28 years, this is only the third Black Friday I've ever had off work.
Oh, really? And you're talking to me. I'm sorry. I'm wasting your good day off.
Because I always worked for businesses that were always open. I worked in for a credit union, and I worked in retail and all these other things, and so it is so nice to have this day off.
It is.
I never understood it.
I've was a teacher, and then have been in sales, and now have my own thing going, and I've always had this day off, and it's fantastic.
Oh, it's so great. So I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah,
I did not bring as many leftovers home as I should have. Well, I put those up yesterday, so I wouldn't have to deal with it today.
That's fair.
I wanted today to be a day of football, television, cocktails, other things.
Understood. I would also, one last bet idea. I would say I would bet on, I don't know the line yet, but I would just pick money line for the Pacers tonight. I think they're going to win because
against Detroit.
Well, because it's a in-season tournament game. Detroit is basically eliminated from the in-season tournament. The Pacers have won their division, but tonight game actually matters for them because if they win, they lock up home court in the first round of the knockout. The 8 teams that make the knockout. If they lose tonight, they theoretically could not have a home game in the first round of the knockout. Believe me, it's very confusing.
I saw Halliburton was questionable, and that worries me a lot.
I didn't see that. Oof.
Yeah, I saw that because I was about to bet it earlier today, and then I went to Twitter to look over the Pacers, injury reports and stuff, and I saw Halliburton was listed as questionable for tonight. So,
all right, that changes things. Indiana's a 7.5-point favorite tonight. I would not like to take that, although the line has gone up. It opened at 6 and has moved up to 7.5. So
then maybe Halliburton's not as questionable as
that's why I would assume. 7.5 is a lot. I would use the Book of James here in that I would wait for the game to start, see Halliburton play, and you'll probably be able to get a better number in game, or at least you'll be able to get something around 7.5 throughout the game.
When the game's 52-51 at the end of the first quarter, you'll be able to get a better line on the
Yes.
Pacers, probably.
Yes, very true. All right, man. Well, hey, happy belated Thanksgiving. Good to talk to you, and we'll do it again for conference champion. I can't believe we're here already. It happens so fast every year, but we're here, and conference championship next week.
I love it. This is the time to make our money.
Yep, and then
we've sat through a lot of football. We've lost a lot of bets this year. It's time to get it back.
It's true. And then we will spend some time on the pod next week doing a little bit of IU football season recap. So be ready. Get your thoughts ready.
Don't worry, I have plenty of them.
And we'll get the bleep button ready to go too. So for James, this is Scott. Thank you all for listening. Happy holidays to everybody. And for Crimson Cash, signing off.
Oh.